Hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another audio edition of Voice of Reason. I am coming to you I'm Jake Schwartz, and coming to you from the Blue Heron Pine Golf Club here in beautiful Egg Harbor, New Jersey. I mean, there are celebrities just bouncing around. I just had the privilege of talking with, a few moments ago, Ron Jaworski, who is the man who has one of 7 country clubs, this being one of them, right here in Egg Harbor, New Jersey. And I am doing an audio edition of Voice of Reason. I'm thrilled to be here again today, where we will have over 55 celebrity golfers who are a part of this festive event. As you all know, this thing is going to work a little bit differently. There is a 7:30 and 1 o'clock round of celebrity golfers. So the morning golfers are finishing up right now, or at least will finish up at about 1 o'clock as we speak. And then at 1 o'clock, the rest of those golfers will tee off at about 1. So we'll try to catch them on the bounce really around the time that we are going to leave. But again, we're thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be here today. I'm going to be talking with a lot of different celebrities here at the beautiful Blue Heron Pine Golf Club here in Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. So again, for another audio edition of the Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Challenge, now in its 32nd year, I'm Jake Schwartz, and we'll provide updates. Again, follow us, by the way, on Twitter at JacobSchwartz23 and like us on YouTube at Voice of Reason. All right, we're back here again at the Blue Heron Pine Golf Club, Voice of Reason. I'm an audio edition. I'm Jake Schwartz, and I am pleased to welcome to the show. I have unbelievable respect for this man. He is the Hammer, Fred the Hammer Williamson, one of the fine actors and former NFL athletes, has joined us here at Ron Jaworski's 32nd Annual Celebrity Golf Challenge. Fred, how you doing today, my friend?
Life has been good, and it continues.
Yes, I would hope so.
Well, I just flew in from Rome, Italy. I was just finishing a film in Rome, and so I wanted to come to this tournament the first time because Ron and I go way back, and I hadn't been here before. So I figured I had an opportunity to fly in from Rome and stop in Philadelphia, take a limo, and come out and play in this tournament.
Now, what, if you don't mind my asking, because I have been... you're still doing movies. What is the film called?
The film is called Black Cobra 3. I have 2 Black Cobras out. It's a action film. I'm like the Black Clint Eastwood with martial arts in all the films that I do. That's the kind of character that I play. I sell a brand. I'm like Clint Eastwood, Charles Bronson. I don't do funny. I don't do comedy. I'll just beat up the bad guy and take him to jail.
I was just about to say, I go back to watching you at back to the Quentin Tarantino days when you were in the From Dusk Till Dawn movie, one of my favorite all-time movies. And I'll never forget one line, and I think it's a trademark, and it's "Come on, sex machine."
Yeah, but my fans seem to like another line. This big gorilla was walking by, and I says, "Anything you got to say to him?"
Yes, say to me first.
Say to me first.
One of them.
And he walked toward me, and I had to take his heart out, but he kept coming anyway. Harvey Keitel stabbed the heart with a pencil. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because you certainly had a very good storybook career in the NFL before you decided to become an actor, and I know that you and Jim Brown have quite a few things in common because both of you did not play long in the NFL. You decided to pursue your career in acting, and how has that translated from football to acting?
Well, I didn't really pursue an acting career when I retired. I retired because I got bored because I wasn't being challenged mentally. I was being challenged more physically, and I had more to offer myself than that because I was working as an architect for Bechtel Steel during the off-season. So I figured I wanted to be full-time architect, but after I stopped playing football and went full-time as an architect, I couldn't make the transition smoothly because my time had been unregulated for so many years. The 9 to 5 just did not appeal to me. An hour for lunch didn't appeal to me, and so I started looking for something else to do. And I saw Diane Carroll had a show called Julia. She was the first black actress to have her own television series. And I noticed that each week the new boyfriend was a guest star role. The guest star role was a new guy. And I said, hell, I'm better looking than any of those guys.
I believe that.
I'm going to Hollywood and become Diane Carroll's boyfriend. So I went, and I BS'd my way in. I BS'd my way to see the producer. And I BS'd my way to tell him that I had all the experience that he ever needed. And he agreed, and he wrote me a script called Dancer in the Dark, about a pro football player retiring from pro football and coming to work where Dan Carroll worked. We meet, we fall in love, and they signed me to a 3-year contract.
32 years, Ron Jaworski has run this incredible celebrity golf challenge. And, the first thing you mentioned to me when we started this was the respect you have for Ron Jaworski. How far back are we talking that you go with this man?
Oh, dude, we used to play in the Crosby back in the day. It was like 15, 16 years of the Crosby. So we go way, way back. I don't know if he wants to admit that. I know he's older than 35, but I'll tell you right now, I'm 78, dude. So we go
78. You don't look a day over 30.
I'm never gonna look 78. It's not my style. It's not my not my mannerism to look my age. I'm 78 and I don't look like 78. You know why? Because I eat a lot of black jelly beans. You guys eat the white ones. You guys eat too many of the white ones. I got to tell you, that's my secret right now, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I eat black jelly beans, dog.
What are you planning to do today at the golf course? Are you planning to shoot? Are you planning to do well today?
Well, they don't call me the hammer for nothing. I'm out here to hit something.
I was going to say, yeah.
But it's a wonderful sport because it doesn't hit back. So I can hit it as hard as I want to and I don't have to worry about it hitting back.
I know you got some mingling to do, so I'll let you get to it. Fred the Hammer Williamson, it's just a pleasure to have you on here on an audio edition of Voice of Reason. And I'll tell you this, my fantasy of meeting you has finally come true, if I may say. Thank you, Fred the Hammer Williamson. And I'll tell you what, if you need anything today as far as I guess, media referrals, you certainly let me know, and I'll definitely give my regards to your buddy Artie Kepner and Gene Culver. I know you have a lot of respect for those two.
Well, those guys are old-timers, too. All those old-timers, we have to stick together, man, because the young guys don't give us the respect that we deserve, so we stick together.
Fred the Hammer Williamson again on another audio edition of Voice of Reason. Thank you, Mike. All right, here I am back here at the Blue Heron Pines Golf Club, just about 20 minutes outside of Atlantic City here in Egg Harbor City. I'm standing here with one of my favorite coaches to deal with in the Baltimore Ravens organization, now the kicking coach, the special teams coach, and this guy certainly has a lot of names. He is a Super Bowl champion, and I wish this was a video because I would have actually shot right at his ring that I cannot stop staring at. Randy Brown. Randy, how you doing today, my friend?
Another beautiful day. This is my 10th year of supporting the Jaws Youth Fund, and Ron and I are dear friends, and I'm very proud to support anything that he's involved in.
Yeah, this is definitely, like I said, it's been so far a really good start to an incredible day. I mean, I've been doing a lot of different golf events myself, and, Artie Kepner, I do a lot of work with myself, runs the Drive for Autism. And, I always ask people, all my celebrities or all my guests, what the purpose is of being here. And his is for autism. I had one with a Gene Culver. His was for Big Brothers and Big Sisters. This event itself is for something very special. It's helping children. And I think that when it comes to Ron Jaworski, he is definitely a man who loves to help people.
Well, Jaws has always been a guy who's put kids first. I've been mayor of my town for a decade, Evesham Township in Marlton.
Really? I did? Okay.
I've been mayor for a decade. And everything we do on our community-based activities are based around our kids. The old saying of the kids are our future continues to be, it plays itself out. I was a kid who grew up in Marlton, New Jersey, and my dad was a councilman. I followed in his footsteps. I became a mayor.
You're like second generation in your town.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
My dad was a football player. I was a football player.
Oh, my goodness.
As adults, we need to be heroes for kids, especially those who aren't as fortunate, like the people that Jaws are able to help.
So Jaws mostly works with like underprivileged children. Is that what the foundation's for underprivileged?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's for okay. So and one of the things that I definitely love about your situation is you're working in the National Football League, yet they still let you become mayor in your town. How often do you get to sit in the office?
I'm so thank God I've got a great guy like John Harbaugh who allows me and understands the importance of public service. And, I think it also helps that we have great kickers like Justin Tucker and Sam Cook. And Morgan Cox, our long snapper. When you have good players, it makes it easier too. So, but I spend, half my time in Baltimore, Owings Mills. I spend half my time
But you're still from,
Marlton.
You said Evesham, and that's in the Midwest, correct?
No, Evesham Township in South Jersey.
Okay, so you are a Jersey boy, which is fantastic.
Born and raised.
So you spend time in your hometown of Jersey, but you also spend a lot of time in the Maryland area
Owings Mills,
where you
absolutely.
work, which is also a fantastic type of town. When you think about an event like today 55 celebrities, and this is so big that they actually had to separate, like, you know, about half of that for 7:30 and half of that for 1 o'clock. So what is it like, I guess, golfing with some of these who are not just celebrities but also close and personal friends of yours?
Well, these are my heroes. So many of them, and especially Jaws has done just such a great job. I mean, at this event, I've met Dr. J. You know, I've met Jimmy Connors and some of my boyhood idols, where Jimmy Connors' famous saying is, "I hate losing more than I like winning."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's me. I hate losing more than I like winning.
I was going to say, John Harbaugh is exactly like that
yes.
myself. And to work for a guy like him has got to be a blessing. Talk about the outlook, because I actually, you know, I don't know if you know this, but I'm very, very close friends with color commentator Kadri Ishmael. I know Kadri and you are very close friends, a phenomenal human being, and does a lot of work for Artie Kepner as well. For the last 4 years, he's also come out to the Drive for Autism. Mm-hmm. The outlook this season, what can we expect? And
you publicly admit you're friends with Kadri Ishmael.
Yes,
that takes a lot.
I love that man.
It takes a lot.
Yeah, you know what? He has his moments, but you know what? We love him dearly. You can't say anything bad about a guy like him.
The great part is just the history of the Ravens and to be part of it. You know, we're going on celebrated the 20th year last year, and I'm blessed that now I'm in my 9th of it, and almost half of, almost 50% of the time the Ravens have been around, I've been there. But as you know, in the National Football League, how healthy can you be?
Oh, yeah.
You know, how healthy can you be? Health is a big question.
That's the name of the game, actually, as they say, is football is all about injuries. Yep. It's either you get injured or you stay healthy. And I think that, you've been fortunate over the last couple of years for a quarterback like Joe Flacco, who's been healthy most of, if not his entire career. I know there was 1 year that he was really struggling with injuries. You've also got a great coaching staff, and you've also got I've been to M&T Bank one time, and it was good enough for me, even though it was preseason, it was good enough for me to know that you have some of the best fans in all football. Is that true?
Okay, so I've coached in Chicago, Philadelphia, and Baltimore. And the fans in Baltimore are by far the best fans I've ever been around. And the thing about it is they fill the stadium. Their enthusiasm is amazing. And in the fourth quarter, remember, I've been fortunate enough to be there when Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and Terrell Suggs are playing. And it was so loud. It was very similar to an indoor stadium and how loud it would get. So I love the drive. It's about 120 miles for me to drive there to go to work. But it's worth it because the fans and the people of Baltimore make it so wonderful.
I know they pay you the big bucks, too.
Yeah, don't I wish.
Randy Brown, as always, it's so good to see you, and we appreciate you stopping by here at the 32nd Annual Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Classic from the beautiful Blue Heron Pines Golf Club in Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. I'm Jake Schwartz for another audio edition of Voice of Reason. More celebrities again to follow. All right, here I am back at another audio edition of Voice of Reason here at the beautiful, Blue Heron Pine Golf Club here in Egg Harbor, just about 15 minutes outside Atlantic City. I'm standing here talking to one of my favorite coaches of the National Football League, and this gentleman has had certainly a heck of a history from quarterback's coach to quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles to the offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, the former quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, and now will take the reins as the new head football coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Coach Doug Pearson. Coach, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's first of all, I just want to go on record and say it's always a pleasure to see you. We certainly go back to my days working for Artie Kepner at Fox Sports. Whenever we've seen each other on the sidelines a couple times, we've crossed paths, said hello a couple times. I'm just so glad that you and I can finally have a conversation that's more than 2 words, if you know what I mean. So I'm glad to have you on, and it's a pleasure.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. What a great day here at Blue Heron Pines, and looking forward to a great round of golf.
I do a lot of these celebrity golf outings, and the first one I did was your buddy Artie Kepner, who's with his Drive for Autism and the Benefit for Autism last week with Gene Culver and the Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Ron Jaworski is an incredible human being when it comes to children. It seems like children are the future for this man. And, 32 years that he has done this as we're here again at the Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Challenge. What more could you ask for? The day is beautiful and the event is beautiful.
Oh, it's a tremendous event. And it's great for my family, my wife and I, to come here and support. And first of all, to Ron and his wife, the Jaworski family and the foundation, to have us here is a tremendous honor for us, for the Pearson family. But he does a great job in this community. 32 years of dedicated service off the football field. That, what a great platform to have. Everything that the NFL has given him and blessed him with, he's been able to give back to this community. And I'm so proud and just honored to be a part of this organization.
Yeah, I wanted to actually talk about first off, not only welcome to Voice of Reason and welcome to your new job. I should say your old job, now new job. Speaking of new job, I got to ask right off the bat, how's it going? Right off the bat, I gotta grill you. I know there are certain things that we are not allowed to talk about, but we can talk about how the team is looking. Because right now, Sam Bradford seems like is in the best shape of his life. Is a great quarterback battle. Congratulations, by the way, drafting the number 2 overall pick in Carson Wentz. How is that looking so far?
Everything's been great. Great offseason so far. We just finished up our OTAs and our offseason schedule last week. And guys have about 6 weeks off now to kind of get their minds right for training camp. It's going to be a tough physical camp. And really looking forward to the guys coming back. And
sure.
Just like you said, Sam had a tremendous offseason. He came ready to go. He's the leader of the football team. Carson is just a work in progress. He's learning every day. Look forward to, obviously, camp and see what he can do once we get into preseason. But a great way to finish. Just looking forward to this break now and then gearing up for July 24th.
You got to ask, because I wouldn't be doing my job. You decided there were a lot of places that you could have gone to when you first decided you wanted to be a head coach. Why Philadelphia? Why an hour over the bridge? What makes Philadelphia different than any other teams that you've had associations with?
Well, the fact that I've had previous experiences with the Philadelphia Eagles really made it easy for me to accept the position, and I'm honored that the Lurie family has given me the opportunity to lead the football team. And, being a part of this community for 4 years and then a year before that in 1999 as a player, you have a sort of a good feel for the community and the city and the fans and the media. And it's a good fit. It was a welcome fit. My family's very comfortable here. And just excited to be working for a great organization. And
you have had a son a few years ago who, I think, because you were living here in the New Jersey area, and you had the opportunity as a parent to watch it. He's a quarterback, correct? He was a quarterback. What's high school was that in New Jersey, if I may ask?
Yeah, he was a quarterback at Morristown High School.
I knew it was one of those.
Morristown High School. He's a quarterback at Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama. And then we have one that just finished high school in Kansas City, and he's going to Louisiana Monroe to play football. And then we'll have a 14-year-old going into Morristown High. He'll be a freshman in the fall. So just, again, it's a great opportunity for us to be back and excited to get in the community.
Oh, we're thrilled to have you back. I got the paparazzi literally right behind me. I know they got everybody else has a job to do. I did my work. So, Coach, it's Coach Peterson, Doug Peterson, a pleasure again to see you as always. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you again for being here on Voice of Reason. That's head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Douglas Peterson, on another audio edition of Voice of Reason, the 32nd annual Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Challenge here at magnificent Blue Heron Pines Golf Club here in Egg Harbor City, New Jersey, about 20 minutes outside of Atlantic City. I'm Jake Schwartz again for Voice of Reason. Welcome back to the Blue Heron Pines Golf Club outside of Egg Harbor City here in Egg Harbor, New Jersey. I am outside, and I'm speaking with one of my favorite young men who I've had the privilege of knowing back from his days as an offensive lineman for the Philadelphia Eagles and for many other teams. And you can find him on this new show, and I want to talk to him about this in a few moments. Double B Barrett Brooks. Barrett, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you as always.
Good. How's it going, man?
Well, it's always, first of all, I want to go on record and say it's always a thrill whenever we see each other, because we certainly have a really nice history together from our days, I guess. Actually, our history goes probably back to when you were playing, but I definitely want to go on record and say I love that we get to work together now during Eagles games, so I'm definitely thrilled about that. Talk about this new project I hear that you're working on these days, which I hear you can find on the Comcast network between the hours of 6 and 8.
Yes, it's called Breakfast on Broad, B.O.B. Great show. It's the only live morning show there is in the Philadelphia area. We get to talk a little about everything, sports, social media, trending events. We talk about it all on the show.
Yeah, how are you over the last year? Because I've been really following this show, and I've been really keeping up with it. You, Rob Ellis, and Jillian Bailey, and I believe you have another,
Baker, yeah.
And Sarah Baker. How is that going? How is that change? How is that transitioned from your playing days to now over at Breakfast on Broad?
Well, it's cool. I have a new team team now. I have to get along with 3 other people, so we have to be able to get along. It has to be a little teamwork. Everybody specializes in what they specialize in, and it makes a whole mixture that, tastes pretty good, when we put it together.
Yeah, as an ex-football player, I should say as an ex-NFL player, you have the sort of the inside scoop that guys like Rob and Sarah and Jillian really, I'm not saying they don't have, but it seems like you have more of an edge, because it's like if, like, before the show and they ask you to talk about the Eagles or they talk about the draft picks, you can easily just say, I know that guy. I know exactly what he's capable of. How does that work?
It really helps out, because they call it locker room lingo. They give me an opportunity to go in and just really break down stuff that I know, stuff that I've seen. So, it helps me out a lot.
Coming up, I should say, in the next couple weeks, I just had a nice chat with Coach Doug Peterson. You're an ex-Eagle, so you are welcome to comment on this. I know you will. What can we expect for the outlook? Because it seems like Sam Bradford is in the best shape of his life, and that's not even with that, but there's been a lot of good things for Philadelphia this year. Villanova, the national championship. Phillies, #1 pick with Mickey Moniak. Sixers will have the #1 pick in 10 days. Carson Wentz, #2 pick. I was going to say, and he looks fantastic, by the way. But what a great year for Philadelphia sports. Can we expect the same from the Eagles?
Well, we've been in a downward spiral the past 3 or 4 years. It's about time that Philadelphia sports start being on the upward trend. If you look at even the Phillies' first pick, a guy that's going to come in. We needed a bat. We needed a guy to come up through the ranks. Maybe he's the next, Ichiro, whatever. I just need a guy that's going to
say he's supposed to be a Gold Glover, Mickey Moniak.
Exactly.
Now he's going to play, and he's playing at UCLA at least for the next 2 years. And the Sixers are likely going to take between Brandon Ingram and Ben Simmons. In fact, as we speak, Brandon is having a private workout with the Sixers as we speak. And
that's
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Yeah.
What is the final question? Because I know we haven't had a chance to talk about this. Ron Jaworski, what an event he has done here, 32 years and counting. What's your thought on this, on the Youth Foundation that he has put together?
I mean, this is excellent. It's for the kids. He's the type of guy that's all he wants to do is help everybody else. So I'm enjoying the fact that he asked me to come out. He's helped me with my career, media, football, and watching me. He's just a total compliment of what you want in a guy to help out the older guys.
How do you think you're going to do today in golf? I'm looking forward to actually hearing that swing.
You'll hear the swing, but I don't know if you'll hear the contact. We'll see.
Barrett Brooks, a pleasure as always to see you, my friend. Former lineman and Mr. Breakfast on Broad himself has joined us here on another audio edition of Voice of Reason from the Blue Heron Pines Golf Club outside Egg Harbor City in New Jersey. I'm Jake Schwartz for Voice of Reason. Here I am back here at the Blue Herons Pine Golf Club, Voice of Reason. I'm speaking with Scott Graham, who's probably one of the finest human beings I've known for at least probably since I was 19. I'm 31 years of age now. Scott Graham and I have such a great history together as far as broadcasting and also golf outings, because, Scott, you and I have worked the Artie Kepner Drive for Autism in Wilmington, Delaware. What another beautiful day it is. And, Scott, it's good to see you as always, and welcome back to Voice of Reason. It's good to have you on.
It's good to be here. And, anytime I get an opportunity to come out and play a great course like this in an event like this on a gorgeous day like this, how could you say no?
Yeah, I was going to nobody could, but I was going to say that today is a very special day. Ron Jaworski, like Artie, does phenomenal work with charity, this being a charity for underprivileged children. 32 years. Actually, his brother said officially it's a 35-year event. What more could you ask for about an event like this, and at a beautiful golf course, no less, here at Blue Heron?
It's a tremendous event every year, and the entire of the weekend is terrific for the NFL alums who get an opportunity to get back together, have fun, tell stories, then come out here and do really good work in terms of raising money. There are all good things to say about this event, and it's one of my favorites to play.
Yeah, it definitely, because yesterday was actually the official kickoff, the cocktail and dining party, which I imagine you were at last night, and you had the privilege of certainly telling old stories. And you've had quite a busy schedule yourself, with Villanova winning the national championship, the Phillies getting the #1 pick, and Mickey Moniak. And I want to go on record and point out that this gentleman here that I'm talking with should have one simple catchphrase, should be never copyrighted as "put this in the win column for the Fightins." And if anybody ever uses that trademark, should be giving you $1 million, because you are certainly the man responsible for using that phrase. I remember going back to your days when you were the voice of the Phillies on the radio, and now you're the voice of NFL Films, and you were born in Philadelphia. What a great year we've had for Philadelphia sports.
The Villanova thing that you're talking about was a major, major portion of that for me because I got an opportunity to be there. I've produced Jay's television show for the last 8 years, and I got a chance to call the national championship game for Turner on the team cast, which is an interesting, fun idea. So just being in the middle of that while all of that was going on, an incredible experience, a great thing for Philadelphia sports and for Villanova University.
And next year, they're expected to be just as tough with the additions of Dylan Painter and Amari Spellman, two of the most talented big men in their respective class, and I should say at their respective position. Josh Hart, Chris Jenkins back from school after withdrawing from the draft. Can we expect big things out of Jay Wright's bunch?
I think they're going to be a very good team. I think they'll be one of the top nationally ranked teams throughout the year. Going on to repeat as a national champion, a lot of things have to fall into place for that to happen. A lot of things have to go the right way. You have to end up getting a little bit of help in terms of your draw and everything else. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're going to repeat as national championship.
I don't think
However,
anybody can do that.
They should very well be in contention to be one of those teams.
Philly's also a team that I know it takes time. They did just draft Mickey Moniak, who was the number one pick, and the Sixers will get in 10 days from now the number one pick themselves, and the Eagles drafting Carson Wentz. I know you through your Eagles days as well. We get the same paycheck from our director, Artie Kepner. What are we expecting this season?
I think it's going to be a very interesting change in terms of the mentality, the approach. I think the players seem to have bought into that already through OTAs and minicamp. It's going to be fun to watch. If you want me to tell you that I think they're going to win 12 games in the division, I don't see that right now. But at the same time, I do think that they are going to make strides. I'm very curious to see what Carson Wentz looks like going up against an NFL defense. I'm sure we'll see that at times over the course of the preseason games that I'm doing with Mike Mayock.
Sure.
I don't know how much time he's going to get during the regular season, but it'll be fun to watch.
Scott, as always, we appreciate you stopping by on another edition of Voice of Reason. Thank you so much, Scott Graham. A pleasure, by the way, as always, to see you. You know that.
You as well.
Thank you, Scott Graham, again, the voice of NFL Films, the voice of many things. Scott Graham, play-by-play analyst from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He joins us on another audio edition of Voice of Reason. All right. Welcome back to another edition of Audio Voice of Reason. I'm here at the Pine Heron. I'm here at the Blue Heron Pines Golf Club. Man, I'm starting to get like, I don't know what's going on with, you know what, when you do as many interviews as I do, it's absolutely insane. And I'm joined now or here speaking with Michael Vick, one of my all-time favorite quarterbacks. And we go back to my days working for Fox Sports. We would see each other a lot when you would come out of the tunnel, and we'd say hello to one another and see how everything's going. And it's nice to see you certainly out of those pads and certainly in those pants, because I know you're getting yourself ready to go. I should say golf pants, by the way. I want to refer
better in golf
I was
gear.
just about but again, want to talk to my good buddy Mike Vick. Hey, Mike, how are you? Good to see you, my friend.
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's always a pleasure to see you, and wanted to ask what are you doing with yourself these days? You're still currently in the NFL? You are currently a free agent, is that correct?
I'm currently a free agent, but right now I'm I got a lot of obligations to my kids.
Yeah.
They're so ecstatic that Daddy has a lot of time for them now. And I just realize now how valuable that time is to spend with your kids. Even though I love the game of football, I love the game of life as well.
Man, I go back from your days at Virginia Tech with your brother Marcus and having a storied career between the Atlanta Falcons and here out in Philadelphia. It's going to be a very interesting season. What can we expect from the Eagles with Carson Wentz, number 2 pick overall? Sam Bradford seems like your guy is in the best shape of his life. And, it's been a great year for Philadelphia sports, but especially with the Eagles and with the new era and Coach Doug Peterson. What are we expecting out of this team?
I tell you what, I'm very excited for Doug. I'm excited for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm excited for the Philadelphia Eagles in general. I think it's going to be a great year. I think, just going to have to be patient.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Because I know you have high expectations.
Yeah,
I know this city has high expectations.
I expect Sam to come out the gate swinging. And, I really think, this is his 7th, 8th year, and it's time to take on that role of being the guy that everybody thought that he was supposed to be coming in. And, it's very important because now he has guys behind him who are going to be pushing him, just as much as, he can be pushed.
Are you still currently living in the Philadelphia area. I remember the last time you and I chatted, I remembered hearing about you actually have a house not too far from my town of Fort Washington. For some reason, you were living in the Horsham area. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I was living in Mullica Hill, yeah.
You're Mullica Hill in New Jersey,
Hill,
right near Tim Legler, another good buddy of mine who's a analyst for ESPN. Were you neighbors with him?
No, I wasn't.
Not.
No, I wasn't. He might have been down the street.
I know you said, I know. Yeah,
we was close. Within a 5-mile radius of one another.
Well, Michael, I just want to point out, as always, I ask all Eagles fans the same question. Michael, thank you so much for being here. A pleasure, by the way, as always, to see you, and enjoy the rest of your day here at the 32nd annual. Actually, it's 35th Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Challenge.
Hey, Mike, how are you? It's Miami Mike.
Michael Vick again joining us on another audio edition of Voice of Reason. I'm Jake Schwartz here at the Blue Heron Pines Golf Club here in Egg Harbor City, just 15 minutes outside of Atlantic City. And we're back at another audio edition of Voice of Reason, the 32nd annual Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Challenge. I'm coming to you from the Blue Heron Pines Golf Club outside Egg Harbor City in New Jersey, about 15 minutes outside of Atlantic City. I'm pleased to welcome in probably one of the most well-respected running backs of the New York Giants, Mr. Lewis Tillman. Lewis, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Well, first of all, I want to apologize again earlier today for mistaking you for a Santonio Holmes. It was the gentleman at the cigars who pushed me to that, so I want to throw that out there.
Oh, there's no problem.
No, I know. I'm just messing with you. But I'll tell you this, though. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. As a gentleman who has certainly respected football for many, many years, the history between you and this, and even like the city of Philadelphia, the NFC East itself, you've certainly had some great years in the NFL. Tell everybody what's going on with Lewis Tillman these days. What are you doing? Where are you living?
Okay, I was coaching when I retired from football in '95. I started coaching high school football and college football. I did that for 18 years.
Whereabouts?
In Mississippi.
Oh, really?
I coached high school football in Mississippi. I coached 2 years at Mississippi College.
Okay.
And then I coached 3 years. My last 3 years at Texas Southern University.
Oh yeah.
Where Michael Strahan went to school at.
Oh yeah.
And I've retired in 2014 from coaching.
And what are you currently doing with yourself these days?
Right now, this is what I'm doing. I'm going around trying to, help people raise money for underprivileged children and stuff like that. Right now, I don't have no job, and I'm not looking for no job. I'm officially retired.
Well, I was going to say, just a few moments ago, we heard a young man singing our national anthem, and I can understand exactly what Ron Jaworski is all about. I mean, I've known Ron for probably about 6-7 years through mutual friends. Just the work that he does, and I've had a lot of good conversations today with a lot of different people, and mentioned to me the same thing, and I'm sure you would probably agree. Ron Jaworski certainly does put people first.
I tell you one thing, last year was the first time I officially met him. I was at a golf tournament last year, and they invited me to this. And I know through the experience about my friends who talked to me about Ron and everything. So when this situation came about, I couldn't help but do it. And I think that he does a great job of putting out for the kids and doing things for the kids.
I mean, there's just really, again, like you said, there's just nothing but respect for Ron Jaworski, who had also just a stellar career as you did. And what was it like, going up against? Now, did you ever actually go up against Ron Jaworski?
I don't know when he finished, but I came in 89 and played into 95, so I really don't remember him. I remember, what is his name? Randall Cunningham.
I want to point that out. I want to point out and go on. I want to also mention that Randall Cunningham is my favorite football player of all time. So you had the privilege of going up against him.
I played against him. And,
man, was he tough to deal with.
Oh, my God. It was
you were part of that. I remember the game that you were playing in. Randall had that, I think it was against you, where he kept his composure, actually picked himself off, and then still threw that touchdown, I believe, to Calvin Williams. You were on that team against him in that game, correct?
I don't know. I got a bad memory.
Well, we're all old.
It's not like it used to be. I tell you that.
I know that we're. Let me just start by going up and saying we're all old, but. Yeah. First and foremost, your day today, how have you enjoyed it so far? Did you have a great golf day today?
I had a great day. It was a little chilly early, but it turned out to be a beautiful day. As far as golfing, I don't come out here to do the golfing a lot. I just come here to socialize and help raise money for the kids.
Well, you've done that with people like me. Louis Tillman, we appreciate you stopping by. It's great to finally meet you, and thank you again for being here on another audio edition of Voice of Reason, the Ron Jaworski's 32nd Annual Celebrity Golf Challenge here at beautiful Blue Heron Pines Golf Club in Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. Welcome back inside the Blue Heron Pine Golf Club. Man, I'm starting to have trouble just being able to pronounce this thing. It's absolutely insane. But you know what? I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun just being around here. We are at the Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Classic, the 32nd annual here in beautiful Egg Harbor City in about 15 minutes outside of Atlantic City, where this gentleman, Lee Bowden, was actually at last night along with the rest of the celebrities as part of the dinner and cocktail hour at Harrah's in Atlantic City. I'm pleased to be joined by All-Pro corner Lee Bowden. Lee, how you doing? And first of all, I want to go on record and say I've had the privilege of working with you for the last 7 years from my days at Fox Sports.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for coming on. I'll be honest. I'm literally sitting at this here looking at this pretzel, and I was just about to have a pretzel, and then I see you walking by, and I'm like, boy, this guy looks so familiar. Where do I know him from? And I'm like, oh, my goodness, of course, that's Lee Bowden, the talented quarterback. Correct, you played for at least 3 or 4 different teams. Is that correct? Who did you play for?
Yeah, so I started off in Cleveland, 03 to 07. That was my first 5 years. In Detroit for 1 year, 2008. In my last 3 years, I ended up with the New England Patriots.
You had some good years out over there. At least, 1 or 2 Super Bowls, right?
Yeah, well, actually, 2011 was the Super Bowl loss to the Giants.
We all remember, and we all remember that game.
Right.
We don't talk about. I know we don't talk about. Lee doesn't talk about that game. What's going on with Lee Bowden these days? What are you doing with yourself? Where are you currently living?
Well, I'm currently in D.C., where I was born and raised.
Okay.
And I'm in the Maryland area now. Atlanta, Maryland is where I have a gym. And Rockville, Maryland.
Is that where you're? So you own a gym in Rockville, Maryland?
Yeah, Rockville, Maryland, and Atlanta, Maryland. And I do real estate in D.C. as well.
Fantastic.
And, I actually just came from Silicon Valley, San Francisco, to try to get into the tech world. Visited some VCs and some companies out there to try to get in that field with former teammate Ryan Neese.
Yeah, of course.
Ronnie Lott's son.
Absolutely.
So we had a good relationship in Detroit, and he, is definitely getting me on the right path to investing and things like that. So, I'm just trying to, stay busy, stay working.
I would kind of hope that you're doing that.
Right.
Ron Jaworski, phenomenal human being. The guy is probably a quadruple threat type of person, working with underprivileged children, owns an AFL team, the Philadelphia Soul, has 2 different stations, and that's ESPN and his own office in NFL Films. This guy does it all. What can you say about an event like this, working for underprivileged children? Because I've had the privilege of working with people with autism. Artie does his, as you know, Artie has that really good drive for autism, and I know you've been a part of that. I don't know if we've ever actually had you, but I know that you've certainly been behind the scenes working with a guy like Artie. And what can you say about an event like this?
An event like this is great. I actually have been here before. I haven't been in a few years, but because it's just been a little busy opening the gyms.
You gotta live the time schedule.
Right, but every time I get a chance, I come out because it's such a great event. What he does for the kids, and Ron is like you said, multi-talented, and the youth is something that we need to take care of. Just talking about, they're our future, and they're they need people like us to definitely get behind them and help them out in any way possible. And Ron is doing that.
He certainly did that. I could understand exactly what he did. He had a young man sing the national anthem who I believe is an underprivileged children. What does that tell you right there?
It shows, what he wants to do, and he's not, afraid to, let the kids take part in this, and showing everyone that that's what he's really behind. And the guy, he sounded beautiful.
Oh, yes. I don't think we could say he sounded.
Well,
I don't think we're allowed to say that he sounded bad.
Yeah, we're not allowed, but he really.
He did. No, he did.
He did a great job.
Oh,
Amazing.
absolutely. Now, there's a reason why he sings at our Philadelphia Sixer games a lot, because this guy obviously is gifted. He has the passion for singing. I could understand, and it certainly worked out for the best. It seemed like a lot of your old friends.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, actually, because that's one of the other reasons why you're here. What's it like seeing some old friends like Michael Vick or Donovan McNabb is here, and legendary Ironman kicker Morten Andersen? What's that like seeing these guys again?
It's always great to see guys you played against or even watched and played with.
Yeah.
To just kind of you get the locker room feel a little bit still here. You joke around, you have a good time, you have fun doing a sport that's to me a lot tougher than football.
I would absolutely hope so. Have you had any other interviews today, or am I the first?
No,
I had a
first.
feeling I probably was, because there's a lot of, in all the golf events I've ever done, I've never seen this much media here. So that's got to tell for something. And you got the Eagles pep band out here.
Right.
And you got the Eagles cheerleaders. Could we get a bigger event than something like this?
Man,
seriously?
It gets bigger and bigger every year, and I enjoy coming here. Like I said, this is my second time, but it's always
32 years and counting. Hopefully you'll be coming here almost as much as this event.
Absolutely.
Because there's a feeling that this thing could go on another 30 years,
absolutely,
maybe another 40 type. I mean, by the time, I'm sure even when Ron Jaworski is deceased, I am sure that somebody will take on his name and still keep this thing going.
It would have to, because it's such a great event and it's for such a good cause. I mean, why let that go? You got to let that name live on and let this event live on, because it's such a great event. You don't want to lose anything like that. So what he built is amazing, and hopefully, like you said, 30, 40, 50 years from now, this will still be going on.
Well, Lee Bowden, I know you got, like yourself, a limited time schedule. We got to let you get out of here. I know you got to drive back to D.C. and Maryland area. Lee Bowden, all-pro quarterback, one of my most respected corners. A pleasure to see you, by the way, as always, here on another audio edition of Voice of Reason at the Ron Jaworski 32nd annual. And I still think, like you said, it's going strong, right?
Yeah, it's going strong.
And the 32nd annual Celebrity Golf Classic. Back here inside the beautiful Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Classic here on another audio Voice of Reason. Jake Schwartz here, and I am here with the Ironman Morten Andersen, one of my all-time favorite kickers I ever had the privilege of working with. 32 years for Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Challenge. Morten, it's great to have you on here. How you doing, and how'd you enjoy your day of golfing?
Well, man, we had a great group of guys. It was a little windy, but we kept it low and rolled some birdies, and what a great cause. Ron has just done an outstanding job, not only in the Philly area, but in the whole, whole region here, and just a great guy. It's a beautiful golf course, lots of great folks, and a great cause.
And a lot of old friends of yours to get a chance to see it. I know that you're on a limited, and that's the thing I really appreciate about you is you taking the time to come on my podcast. I know you're on a basically on a limited time schedule, because I know you got a flight to catch home. You kicked in the league for 25 years. You played against probably some of the most talented players that ever graced football. What was that like, growing up in that 90s era of football, with the NFC and AFC were probably some of the best competition? And what's it like now? What's the difference, I guess you could say?
I mean, the money has changed it quite a bit, obviously, but I felt like we played in the golden era of football with the Walter Paytons, the Joe Montanas. It just didn't get much better than that. The Bears teams, and the Steel Curtain, of course, was a little bit earlier than me.
Not to mention the Doomsday defense. Ed Too Tall Jones is here.
Yeah, Ed blocked a couple of my kicks, so Ed and I have had a conversation about that. He's a great dude, and the four Buffalo teams. I mean, what Jim Kelly and that group did for 4 years in a row. People realize that they kept saying, well, they lost all four. That's probably more difficult to lose all four than get there four in a row. So really impressed by that whole group. And I don't know, it's just it's great to just reminisce with some of these guys. I played against and with most of them.
Ron Jaworski, did you not?
Yes, I did.
You had a good run with him? I should say you had a good
against
history.
him. Yeah,
that's what I meant to say. I know you had a very good history.
The old vet stadium. where they had the separate jail and everything in there. It was pretty funny.
Oh, we don't ever. I don't think we ever. Growing up in this city, I think my father took me to Veterans Stadium for many, many years, and I've also been to Lincoln Financial, also a very nice stadium.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about as far as I guess the afterlife of Morten Andersen. Tell everybody what you're doing these days and where you're living.
Yes, I have a company, a golf event planning company down in Atlanta, and so we bring business executives from Europe to the United States for high-end golf experiences, and then we bring U.S. golf executives to Europe. So we're quite busy doing that. So and then I work with some of the young talents coming out of college for kicking.
Yeah.
And we have a family foundation to raise money for special ops soldiers and their families. We've been doing that since I was with the Giants in 2001.
Sure.
And so we have a golf tournament every year there, and we're just honored that these guys are overseas in different environments and put in harm's way every day so we can have freedom in this country.
What's it like, being here last night at the cocktail and dining party at Harrah's, which, by the way, again, we're coming to you from Egg Harbor City, just about 15 minutes from Atlantic City. Great place, by the way, to gamble if you want to lose all your money, in my opinion. Wanted to just mention what this weekend has certainly meant to you, and like you said, seeing old friends and one of your old teammates here today, and that's Michael Vick. And what's that like reminiscing with? Did you get a chance to see him?
I didn't see Michael.
You did not see Michael.
But I think the unique character of Ron's event is that it's all his friends and buddies, and it just seems like a big family, honestly. And it's the power of many doing good work together and pulling in the same direction. I think that's what I'm most impressed with.
Morten Andersen here at the Blue Heron Pine Golf Club, and I'll tell you what, if I continue to mess up with what this golf club is, I'm really just going to flip my lid. But Mr. Ironman Morten Andersen, we appreciate you joining us on another audio edition of Voice of Reason. I know you got a flight to catch, so we'll let you get to it. Thank you, my friend. Morten Andersen again on another audio edition of Voice of Reason, the 32nd annual Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Challenge here at the Blue Heron Pine Golf Club here in Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. I'm Jake Schwartz for Voice of Reason. Well, after I had to shut this thing off after Joe Pisarcik's lovely assistant. For those of you who don't know, Joe Pisarcik, the former NFL great, backup with the Eagles and a member of the New York Football Giants. But now I am finally pleased, after 7 days from the Big Brothers Big Sisters in Bucks County, to welcome back to Egg Harbor, New Jersey, Mr. Invincible himself. And I would never, ever say out loud that I hated Invincible. I'm only kidding. Vince Papale, it's great to see you again, man. I just spoke to you a week ago. I can't get away from you, can I?
Well, this will be the last time you'll see me at a golf tournament in a while, that's for sure. Yeah, that was great. Great to be here. Great to be here with the Jaws outing. I call it the Jaws outing.
Of course.
His 33rd. I was at his first.
I thought it was 32nd.
32nd, 33rd. Yeah, after you played that many years in the NFL. So
sure.
Yeah, but I played in his first over there at Eagles Nest when it first started.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm learning new things. I'm learning new things every
stuff.
day. But I wanted to talk to you about, this is officially now our third golf outing together. Mm-hmm. Autism Speaks, right. Big Brothers, Big Sisters, right. And now Jaws is 32nd, for underprivileged children. Uh-huh. And what can you say about a man like Ron Jaworski? This guy owns 7 different golf clubs. I think he owns, the way he acts, he owns more. Can you say anything about that hasn't been said about a guy like Ron Jaworski?
Well, aside from the fact that he's invincible, Ron's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He's so humble, he's so friendly, he treats everybody like they're the most important person you've ever met. We've been close friends. I was actually the first Philadelphia Eagle he ever met when Dick Vermeil was recruiting him over from L.A. to Philadelphia in '77. Me and Denny Franks.
Yeah. Sure, I know it was tough. I know things were tough at first with you and Denny, but now, according to the movie,
don't believe everything you see in the movie. Denny was my number one guy, but we were actually training, and he saw us coming off the field after doing one of our workouts, and so Ron, he's a friend, a neighbor, an alumnus, a fraternity member. He's all those things, but more than anything, it's just what he does in the community. He's just phenomenal, and he treats everybody, like I said, just so well. And I love Ron. He's like a brother to me.
Well, I first want to go and say I'm always happy to have you back on my show on Voice of Reason. I always enjoy seeing you because you always are the type of guy that I can always learn and listen from, because you always tell the best best stories possible. And whenever we get together, it just seems like I can always go around and tell other people, Vince Papale just told me a new story. Because you are the expert when it comes to stories, and what new story can you tell us here today?
Well, what news story can I tell you? I'll never forget the first time when I did meet Ron, and he said he wanted to do a workout with me. I said, "You sure you really want to do my training program?" He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "No problem." So we're out there. He said, "What's your deal?" I said, well, "I'm going to run 24 110-yard dashes between 11 and 13 seconds, and I'm going to wait for my pulse to go down to $120, and then I'm going to take off and run another one." So Ron ran the first three, then he's there for the fourth, and then the fifth he's right up there with him, and all of a sudden we lose him for the sixth. And then, but he did pop back in. Eventually he wound. If they're not, he was. I think he might have lost his lunch.
I would probably think.
Yeah, but when he came back and he finished it up with us, and I just had so much respect for him for doing that. That was his way of ingratiating himself into the team. And like I said, I was one of the first guys that Ron met when he came into Philly, if not the first Eagle, and we've been friends ever since 1977.
And for underprivileged children, there's something that certainly stands out. He had a young man sing the national anthem to start the afternoon. What did that mean to someone like you? Because I know how big you are when it comes to this type of charity.
Well, that's what Invincible's all about. It's about those underprivileged and not just children, but anyone. Or anyone that feels that maybe they weren't in the top of the line when chances or gifts or things were given out to them. And it's all about the dream, and you see the great things that the Jaws Youth Fund does, and helping kids achieve their dream. And right now with all this going on in our society, and you see everything that's going on in our culture, there seems to be so much negativism, but the real positive thing is what Jaws does with his youth fund. And not only that, how he's benefited the alumni. The alumni is caring for each other and also caring about kids. So, Ron's all about the kids. He's all about the youth, and
he's all about giving back to the National Football League. A lot of great athletes here, including yourself, Fred the Hammer Williamson, I spoke to early this morning, Donovan McNabb, and Coach Doug Peterson. And I remember you last week telling me just this team is. I've been telling a lot of people that Vince Papale said that Doug Peterson is the next Dick Vermeil. And you're standing, and like you said, so we're definitely a week later, we're here, and you're still keeping your word on that. I believe you. And I believe that you are, that your word is final. That's not going to change, though, because it just seems like, because Coach Peterson did mention that it just seems like that Sam Bradford is in the best shape of his life, and that this team could really be, could be the future of the NFC East, it just seems like.
Well, we'll see. The guys seem to respect Doug because, first of all, he's very organized. He's a good guy.
Like you,
he's a player coach. He's a player's coach, but, not to the point where the players are going to take advantage of him. And they like his approach, approach of the game. He's a teacher, and he's also a student of the game, and he's got such great coordinators that are working with him. With Frank Reich with the quarterbacks, as I said, and Jim Schwartz on the defense. They're in ways not only they're his assistant coaches, but they're also mentors to Doug, and they're going to make him that much better. And I remember when Doug when Coach Vermeil brought in Sid Gilman.
Yeah.
And he brought him in from the San Diego Chargers. And, he said, help me with our passing game.
Sure. And that worked out,
Yeah, and when he brought in Gilman, it helped with the passing game. So he's not afraid to say, I don't know it all. Help me out. That's why Doug is so different than so many others.
And what's next on the list for Mr. Invincible as far as, are you through with the golf outings for a while?
Well, yeah, pretty much by default because I'm getting my knee done on the 22nd.
Oh,
I'm getting a knee
that's
replacement.
right. I think you made it.
So I'll be done again. I'll be done actually until July 16th when we're going to do a really special outing for the Foundation for Kevin Turner. We just lost the great ALS.
Sure.
So I'm going to be I'm on the board with that, helping him out with that.
And I just want to go. I just want to mention that if you do need somebody to give you publicity, I think I'm your guy, right?
I should have do that.
We'll definitely keep the lines.
Yeah,
We'll definitely keep the lines open on that. Vince Papale, a pleasure to see you. By the way,
it's great to be with you.
And you know what? My life is a lot better when Mr. Invincible is around. Vince Papale, we thank you again for your time, and we hope you have a safe drive home. Please give your best, of course, to Janet.
Sure will.
I know you will. Thank you, Vince Papale, again for another audio edition of Voice of Reason. I'm Jake Schwartz again for the 32nd annual Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Classic. All right, here I am, Jake Schwartz, voice of reason, at the 32nd Annual Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Classic here at the Blue Heron Pine Golf Club. I can't even begin to tell you how annoying it is to have to keep pronouncing this name. And I'm speaking here with my longtime colleague from Comcast Sportsnet, John Borek, who I call JB. I think he is one of the most talented up-and-coming broadcasters in the industry. I've had the privilege of working with him through Eagles and different types of various events from college, even to the professional rankings. And this is a guy who's been, like me, chasing down celebrities all day here today, and I'm so glad to have him on. And JB, John Borek, it's so good to have you on here, and it's always a pleasure to see you.
How you doing?
I'm great. I'm a lot better because you're here. That's what matters. But, it's been a great year. I want to go on record and say it's been a great year for Philadelphia sports. The Sixers will draft the number 1 pick 10 days from now. I know you have that story. The Flyers, certainly an up-and-coming team. So I know you're used to covering the Flyers. How good would you say this, how much better is this city coming? I mean, is this city coming really, is sports world really starting to bleed Philadelphia sports? Because seems like the next couple of years, I think the Phillies could be on their way with the number 1 pick and Mickey Moniak. Eagles with Carson Wentz with the number 2 pick. Even the Flyers have some potential. They certainly showed a lot of it this year.
No, I think that it's starting to come around. I mean, sports is cyclical, so you see over the course of 10, 15 years, it was at a good point from about 2008 to 2011, and now some of the teams have struggled. The Sixers, I don't know if they can fall to the depths lower than what they are now.
I agree with that 100%.
Flyers are in a somewhat of a transitional phase. They've got some good talent on the roster. They've drafted well. They've got some good defensemen coming up. We'll see about the Eagles, and I think with the Phillies, it'll take a little bit of time.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Especially that sweep really hurt them in Washington. I want to go on record and say I've known you probably the last 5-6 years. How have you enjoyed your stay here at Comcast Sportsnet?
Well, it'll be 10 years in July.
I've only known you half of that.
Yeah, it's been 10 years. It's been good. Gotten to do a lot of great things. I was there when the Phillies won the World Series, Stanley Cup Final in 2010, U.S. Open, which I really enjoyed covering golf. That was here in 2013. So, you look back at those 10 years, it goes extremely fast. I've had 2 kids that were born here. So, I have no complaints. It's a good area. I love the fanaticism of the fans. And, let's just hope that things, from a sports standpoint, turn around.
I know you got a limited time schedule, so I'll let you go because I know you got some stuff to do. Yeah. John Borek, a pleasure to see you as always, my friend. Right, we always make history together. And John Borek again from anchor from Comcast Sportsnet, joining us again here today on another audio edition of Voice of Reason. I'm thrilled to have him here at the Blue Heron Pine Golf Club here in Egg Harbor City here in New Jersey, about 15 minutes outside of Atlantic City. Again, John Borek, our guest. We're going to wrap things up again because we're starting to get our day done because our celebrities, I guess you could say, are on their way out the door and doing what they do. This is Jake Schwartz again for another presentation of Voice of Reason's coverage of the 2016 edition of the 32nd Annual Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Classic. All right, Blue Heron Pine Golf Club here at Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. I'm pleased to welcome in the 32nd Annual Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Challenge. And I'm going to make this as quick as I can because he's on a time schedule just like I am. We're both on a very limited time schedule. The speed certainly kills for this gentleman right here, Donte Stallworth. Donte, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's great to be out here always with my guy Ron, man. He's one of the best guys I know. Just a pleasure to be out here. I got my teammates out here teaching me how to play. They're kicking butt. I'm just trying to follow their lead.
Are you currently employed in the National Football League? Or are you a free agent?
I am currently retired.
You're currently retired. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I've been kind of doing a little bit of everything. Been dabbling in journalism. Been dabbling in a little bit of broadcasting.
You're trying to get my field, by the way.
Yeah, I think
You're getting close to it. I know.
You feel me coming? I'm getting
I would.
close.
You know what? I think. Are you going to be my big type of rival? I'm starting to think that you and I could be rivals soon.
I would like to be friends first.
No, I would love that very, very much. I followed your career all the way from your days to New Orleans to Philadelphia to even as a member of the New England Patriots. Your thoughts coming into the season with the Philadelphia Eagles? What can we expect with Carson Wentz?
You know what? I like the kid. I think he played really well in college. I think that Coach Pearson is going to bring a culture here where the players will respect what he's doing in the off season, and it's always good. I mean, Philadelphia is one of the greatest cities in the world. Definitely one of the greatest sports cities.
Oh, yeah.
And people here they want to win, and they want to win now, and they deserve a winner. So, I'm looking forward. Obviously, Sam Bradford's still here as well.
That's what it's really all about.
And that's going to be a great competition between those guys. And it'll be interesting to see how they fare from last season's. I don't want to call it a debacle, but
that's true.
Whatever word you'd like to use, but this year I think it's going to be a lot different. It's a new culture coming in, and the players will respect what Coach Pearson is doing, and we'll see what happens.
All right, let's remember we use a club and not our hands. Donte Stallworth, superstar wide receiver. A pleasure to see you as always, my friend. I know you got things you got to do, and I'm on a time schedule myself. That's Donte Stallworth again, star wide receiver here at the Blue Parents Pine Golf Club on another audio edition of Voice of Reason. I'm Jake Schwartz. All right, 3 o'clock here at the Blue Heron Pine Golf Club. My goodness, I am just getting tongue-tied saying this golf club. I'm coming to you from Egg Harbor City, New Jersey, from another audio edition of Voice of Reason, and I am speaking with my all-time, and I don't want to say this not to toot Michael Vick's own horn because I was a big fan of him as well. I am here with the franchise, the number 2, pick overall in the 1999 NFL Draft, my main man, Donovan McNabb. Donovan, how are you? It's so good to see you as always. We go back to the days of the Drive for Autism presented by our good friend Artie Kepner.
Well, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Right. It's always good. First of all, it's great to see you as always. And we have certainly a good history together between the two of us. But I know you got a great history with Ron Jaworski. I'll make this as fast as we can. I know you're on a time scheduled, so let's make it as quick as we can. How are you enjoying your day so far?
I'm enjoying it. Hitting the ball pretty well. If nobody really knows, then I'm hitting it great. But, we're having fun. That's the most important thing. We're all here for a great cause. Ron does a great job. I think this is over 30 years. He's
32
he's hosted this event. So to be a part of it is special. Obviously, his face and what he's been able to do being in the Philadelphia Eagles franchise speaks volumes. And for all the guys that come out and support him says a lot about who Ron is as a person.
Sam Bradford, big competition between him and Carson Wentz is certainly heating up. What can we expect with a new era? And your good buddy Doug Peterson now taking over the reins as head coach. What are we looking forward to in the upcoming season?
You tell me, because I'm waiting on it.
I'm still trying to figure that out. Where are you living these days, my friend?
I'm out in Phoenix, so I'm enjoying great weather, good golf for those who do golf, and great workout facilities.
I know duty call. I was going to say, I know duty calls for you, my friend. Donovan McNabb, we appreciate you stopping by. Number 5 here on another audio edition of Voice of Reason here at the Ron Jaworski's 32nd Annual Celebrity Golf Challenge here at the Blue Heron Pines Golf Club here in Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. 15 minutes outside of Atlantic City. Our final thoughts is coming up right after this. I'm Jake Schwartz. All right, everybody, for another audio edition of Voice of Reason here at the Ron Jaworski's 32nd Annual Celebrity Golf Challenge here at the Blue Heron Pines Golf Club. I'm Jake Schwartz, and I want to thank all of my guests for stopping by here today, from Mr. Invincible Vince Papale to Eagles head coach Doug Peterson. Had 2 quarterbacks for the price of 1, Donovan McNabb and Mr. Michael Vick themselves. Want to thank just all of my celebrity friends again for joining us. Scott Graham, also a gracious host. I want to thank Comcast Sportsnet's John Borick for taking the time out of his busy schedule to join me. I want to thank my first guest this morning at about close to 10 a.m., the hammer himself, Fred Williamson, for joining us here today on another edition of Voice of Reason. A lot of great guests. Again, I want to thank Lewis Tillman, and I want to thank all for stopping by. So, again, I want to thank Ron Jaworski for an incredible event. Kids certainly and children are certainly our future, and what a job that he has done. 7 country clubs in all, and certainly as owner of the Philadelphia Soul, the AFL, and a man who has certainly put his needs of other people before himself, and I just think that's absolutely remarkable, and another great job on another beautiful day in our third and final edition on the golf circuit. I want to, again, thank you all for joining us at the Ron Jaworski's 32nd Annual Golf Challenge from Egg Harbor, New Jersey. 15 minutes from Atlantic City. I'm Jake Schwartz for another audio edition of Voice of Reason. Good night, everybody.